All right, it's Joe with another episode of Synergy's Accidentally Fit podcast. And today it is my pleasure to be joined by Autumn, one of our members who's taking the time out here. We're recording it on a Sunday afternoon to talk to us for about 10 minutes. Thank you so much for being on the call.
Thank you for having me.
Something I've noticed about Autumn over the last year. Now, you've been a member for over a year, is that right?
About a year and a half now.
A year and a half, yes. And something I've noticed recently is that despite you've been pregnant now for a while, is that you're just completely focused during your workouts. You get them done, and it's like you have this sense of understanding of how important it is to stay fit during this pregnancy.
Absolutely. This is my third time in final, and I
will never
was afraid. And I was afraid to work out my first one, and I got in a lot of trouble with a lot of weight gain. And this one, I just really made it a focus to make sure that I took some me time to get it done.
And how old is the first one?
My oldest is 3.5.
Okay, and then you have one in between and one on the way here shortly?
Yep.
Okay, great. And with the working out and the exercise, how do you feel?
Honestly, I feel great. I have a lot more energy, which is necessary with toddlers at home.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not so much not just the physical aspect, is mentally, I just feel more capable. Like it's my me time to get out and actually do something.
And when is how long until this one's due?
2.5 weeks.
Oh. Wow, I didn't realize it was that soon.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. And when you're exercising and you have the little ones at home, you have the new one that's going to be here in 2.5 weeks. I've noticed I'm trying to say this in a good way with my wife in the room. Like during our first one, where she didn't exercise during our first one either. She was probably more tired and felt more fatigued, which is kind of counterintuitive, where you think exercise makes you more tired, but it was actually, like you said, like a rejuvenating experience of having some little bit of time for herself and maybe just a positive psychology. Like she's going to bounce back quicker after this one.
And I think that's true. With my first one, I was working full time as well, so I like to use that as an excuse.
Uh-huh.
My second one, I have no excuse for it. But it really is like, I'm still tired. Everyone's tired. But I feel better. Like I come at night versus the mornings, and I'm actually able to finish the night out strong, which I think is pretty big.
It is amazing, and that's why I want to get you on the call, because I'm truly impressed after working with a lot of clients who become pregnant and go through their pregnancies, and the ones that do last closer to the end. And of course, there's certain circumstances where it's just not a fit, but
Absolutely.
They bounce back so much faster. And since you've been through it, now you're 2.5 weeks out, what are some tips that have worked well for you to stick to it, either mentally or scheduling wise, that some of the listeners might be able to benefit from trying themselves?
It's really, every week I sit down, and at the end of the week, usually on Sundays or Saturdays, I go 3 times a week. I pick on the calendar and I block out those 3 times. I sign up, it's done in the book. My husband's very supportive, which I think is a huge thing, is to having a good support system at home.
Mm-hmm.
And just going. Like there's plenty of mornings, Saturday mornings, where I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it, but you just have to push yourself to go.
Now, did your physician recommend you do exercise, or just to your own tolerance?
It's to my own tolerance. I have certain things that, of course, they don't want you doing, especially since I have cesarean sections. I have to be careful with a lot of the core workouts.
Mm-hmm.
But he said as long as I'm comfortable to keep going, and it's been good so far.
Well, that is amazing. And there are some things you shouldn't be doing, like you shouldn't be having your stomach hanging for long periods of time, like a plank position, like you said, core exercises. But there are things that you can do to strengthen the low back, the hips, the glutes, around those areas so you can help bounce back. And you're carrying toddlers at home. You're carrying
Yes.
2.5 weeks right in front of you. You got your hands literally full of kids.
Yeah, and it's really, and all the trainers and you have been amazing with being accommodating, and it's making me positive that I'll be able to do it again once I'm done recovering to get right back into it.
Of course. Now, after your second one, how long was it before you started working out?
It's actually when I finally bit the bullet. It was when I signed up for Synergy, and I think she was about 5 months old.
5, yes. And we've seen people come from everywhere from 3 weeks after to 3 months after to 5 months after. It really depends a lot on how you feel and whether you have a C-section or not, and your scheduling at home, which you've seemed
Right,
to already
absolutely.
started working on so strong.
We're trying.
So a lot of credit to you there. Now, have you done anything else for your wellness besides just the exercises? Have you been out
Well,
walking or anything else?
yeah, we walk a lot, especially with COVID and having kids that you want to wear down. We go on a lot of walks.
That's a good way of saying it.
Yeah, we get outside. We have thankfully a good yard with the trampoline, the snow days we've had lots of fun with. I've been much more careful about watching my diet. It's not perfect, but we've been healthier as a family, I think.
And the last question for you. Now, do you know whether you're having a boy or girl this time?
Another boy. So I'll have 2 boys, 1 girl.
Usually, I think I told you this at the gym. Usually, we do like a sled race for middle naming rights. Not first naming anymore, but middle name rights.
It's kind of perfect because we don't have either.
Okay, well that'd be great. I mean, Joe is a pretty decent name. It can. I really appreciate you hopping on the call and sharing a little bit of your experience. And I also wanted to again give you a shout out for how impressive it's been for you to go so strong. And again, I was surprised that only 2.5 weeks left to go. I would have guessed a little bit longer. Now, I'm not saying that it should be longer, so you don't punch me in the face next time. Yeah, so you don't knock me out next time we see. But the strength and energy you still have with 2.5 weeks to go is truly admirable. So thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your story today, Autumn.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Get back to the kids. See ya.